No chemicals or preservatives, just 100% honest to goodness hickory smoked meat.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Boy, some chicken wings have really hit the spot.
You ain't got no better food, like some chicken wings, some baby back ribs, some fries or something?
That's just two guys talking, am I right? We're just talking.
Hey, howdy, hey. Sweet air guitar, Mike.
I've never played the guitar. Well, a little bit, but I don't know. It felt right.
I support it.
I think I kind of hit some Guitar Hero moves there.
Nice.
So, you know.
We're back in the pit. Another week of the greatest podcast in the northern Utah area. Undisputed.
Oh.
#1 barbecue podcast.
Yeah. Undisputed. Love it. Yeah, dude. Excited to be here. We say this every week, but we don't talk as much as we used to, so it's always a good time to get together.
I know, right?
And discuss.
Can we just say the look on my neighbor's face when you pulled up tonight and said, "Get in the car, loser. We're going shopping."
It's a Mean Girls quote, apparently. Whitney does it to me sometimes.
I'm not sure she's seen Mean Girls.
Yeah.
But
that's
it
what
was
I
pretty,
thought, too.
It was pretty awesome. So, it's true. We don't get to reminisce as often as we used to, which is kind of sad.
But alas, here we are.
Here we are. Big weekend. Hope everyone survived and nobody screwed it up and bought a vacuum.
Ooh. Rookie mistake. My dad did a can opener once.
Ooh.
Still hasn't recovered. It was rough.
Yeah, I haven't done that. I was going to say, I bought a KitchenAid for Christmas one year, but she was super excited.
Yeah. See, that's kind of, I don't know. Whatever.
I almost bought one of those Ninja Creamy things. Have you seen those?
I don't think so.
It's like a
blender?
It is, but it's like you freeze these quart cups to make like individual soft serve ice creams.
Never heard of it.
But
I wish you would have so I could try it.
I've been saying I want one. Haley's been saying no, we don't need it. And I thought about buying it for Mother's Day. Just as like a...
There you go.
Happy Mother's Day. And putting Clay's name on it. Just like, you can't be mad at Clay.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't.
Yeah, it's always hard when you're buying gifts for someone else, but they're really for you.
To you, for me.
Yeah. Oh, some things come to mind. Anyway, how was your Mother's Day cook? What'd you do?
So I did a rack of pork.
A rack of pork?
Pork loin with the ribs still on it.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Super pretty cut. Really easy. Meat was fantastic. I flopped hard on the potatoes.
Oh, me too, but go on.
Like hard flopped. I was doing like a Lyonnaise style potato, where really it wasn't Lyonnaise, it was more like an au gratin potato. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what. Every time I make them, like every third time I do it, I just way underestimate how long it's going to take for the potatoes to get soft. Even though I slice them super thin, use a mandolin, like get them really, really thin, they were hard as a rock. And
I did the same thing.
I took one bite and said, "Everyone throw your potatoes away. Nobody eat these. Nobody eat them." But the pork was amazing. So
that's awesome. What'd you call it?
A rack of pork.
Rack of pork.
So,
I've never seen that.
You've probably seen a crown roast.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crown roast is a rack of pork, a pork rack, whatever you want to call it. That's just tied into a circle.
Okay.
So
right on.
It's got the loin and then the rib meat still on it with the bones. So
do you? I mean, in my mind, loin and ribs cook a little bit differently. So how do you cook that?
I did it at 225. Took about 4.5, 5 hours.
Okay. And just brought it up to temp. And
Yeah, I brought it up to 145.
right on.
So I did it with a pineapple orange glaze
Dude.
with garlic and herb by Meat Church
Oh,
on the meat.
that sounds good.
And it's a great cut of meat. Like, it's looks fancy, seems like it would be really hard to do. It's really cheap, and it's kind of hard to screw up.
Really? Might have to check that out. That sounds
So-
phenomenal.
What'd you cook?
Dude, I kind of got lucky. So I have 4 siblings. 3 of them were traveling, and so we invited my parents over. And then Whitney has 3 siblings, and 2 of them live like far away, and so we invited her parents over. And so I did a brisket, dude. It was awesome.
Nice.
It was great. Cooked it overnight. And then I tried to do potato, Hasselback potatoes,
Oh, yeah.
style. And I mean, it started off really good. So I kind of had like a butter and oil that I'd kind of basted them with and then had them on the smoker. I did the same thing, though. I underestimated how long it was going to take to cook them all the way through. So they were very like crispy, and it was getting awkward because the brisket was done. Everybody was there. Potatoes still weren't done. I had done some baked potatoes, so that kind of saved me.
Oh, okay.
And those were done and good to go. And then just kind of, I mean, they were fine, but I took one pan off and like just tried to nuke them and get them edible, and then left the other pan on. So when everybody was done eating, I brought the other pan off, and it was actually pretty good, but we were all full by then.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
but brisket on the pellet grill, it was all right. I liked it.
Dude, I don't care what anybody says. Pellet grills with a brisket is the way to go.
Dude, seriously.
It's so easy. Like, there are some things you can really do to screw up a brisket on a pellet grill, but once you know how to do it, like, it is money.
Well, and I love cooking on the offset and figuring it out and stuff. But I tell you what, it was really nice to put that brisket on and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about the fire and, so.
Although lately,
Pretty
you
awesome.
almost need like a battery backup. We've been having, at least over
Yeah.
here,
A
power
lot of-
surges.
I was
and
worried about it. Yeah, flickers and
Power
stuff.
went out today. So,
Yeah.
you were probably at school.
Yeah, I missed that. I didn't know it went off. Was it during like the thunderstorm that we
Yeah.
had?
Did you guys get the hail down at the high school? Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it was
pretty
in the
nuts.
middle of that when
And
it
the power
happened.
went
But
down, huh?
yeah, started out with dime-sized hail and rapidly progressed to quarter-sized hail for like 10 minutes.
It was wild, man. That's the second day in a row it's done that. Like we were
Just a
driving
deluge.
here in Nibley yesterday with my driver's ed kids, and the poor kid driving, like it was just the windshield wipers were going as fast as they can. He couldn't see anything. He did a good job though. He powered through.
Just pull on over, man.
Yep.
So,
Anyway, brisket's great.
yeah.
I'll tell you what. I wish it was a little cheaper. I'd cook it a lot more because it is divine.
Well, I told you that I went to, what was it, last Sunday? I think it was last Sunday. What was I cooking?
With the burrito.
With
Yeah,
the burrito.
that's right.
I went to buy chuck roast. It was twice as expensive as the brisket.
Yeah.
So, so tangent, and I can't decide if I like this or not. I think I am drinking basically straight Dew Zero syrup in this cup right now.
Pretty strong. Huh?
It is. It's like got this pucker factor to it. It's a.
Well, the machine did not look like it was functioning properly. It was kind of like
It's got-
sputtering a little.
Yeah, it's got bubbles in it. It's carbonated, but whew, that makes it strong
Pretty
tonight.
powerful stuff, huh?
So, yeah. Oh, the other thing I cooked midweek, even I did just a normal pork loin. Put it up on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was pretty.
Just cross-hatched it, hit it with barbecue sauce at the end, and back to my frustration with Instagram. It is literally a 5-second clip of me going like, huh. And it took off.
Blew
man.
off. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I cooked for the the Ward campout thing that we did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot that was this weekend.
Yeah,
How'd
it
that
was
go?
really good. That was good. Not well attended, so we had a ton of extra meat. But I did 4 pork butts. Again, pellet grills, guys. Like, I love the offset. I love the drum. I taste the flavor difference for sure. But it is so nice to put 4 pork butts on the pellet grill and go to sleep.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah. But it was good.
yeah. You'll never convince me otherwise.
Yep. I, knock it all you want. People say it's an easy bake oven. It is, big fan.
I think I said it last week. I ate the brownies when they came out of the Easy Bake Oven, just like everybody else did.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
all right. Well, should we get to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Should we get to the meat of the show?
Oh, I see what you
See
did
what I did there?
Meat puns.
Meat puns.
You heard it here first on the #1 barbecue podcast in the northern Utah area.
Fat Guys with Smokers.
.com.
Literally, fatguyswithsmokers.com.
Yeah.
I will refresh this just so we get an accurate time here. Oh, still 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So just dropped this as we are recording. Tonight is Tuesday, so a couple of days prior to when this will hit. But new blog post up. We thought it'd be fun just to go back through this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's something that we've gone through a couple of times, but I don't think it ever hurts to talk about, and we'd love to hear your comments on your thoughts on these products, or if you like something different or whatever. So
yeah. So make sure I think it's at the bottom of every page, make sure you fill out here the be the first to know, so that you don't miss any episodes, you don't miss any blog posts as we add these to the website.
Oh, and you can comment on the blog post too.
You can
Right
log
on.
in, be an active participant in the conversation. So there's a couple other articles up here that I've got. Mike's working on a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But we thought we'd just kind of run through these. And then we've also shamelessly added a few links here that if you click on any of the links or pictures and buy something, you'll be furthering the cause of Fat Guys with Smokers everywhere. And taking a little bit of wind out of my wife's sails when I called this a business and she says, "You haven't made a dime." I said,
Come on, guys. You
"It's a
can't
ri-"
let Haley have this one.
I
Okay?
said, "But it's a write-off."
That's awesome.
And she had no idea what I was talking about. So
Oh.
it's kind of a,
Have you seen that Schitt's Creek clip?
that's,
You write it off.
you just write it off. What do you mean? Who pays for it? Nobody. You just
The
write it
write
off.
off people.
I don't think that means what you think it means.
Yeah. All right,
Anyways,
John, up
so-
first.
Yeah. So up first, I put the meter on here. We'll go through a couple of just like categories. I think we've got thermometers, cutting boards, knives, and then just some random paraphernalia.
Yeah.
But in thermometers, I'm a convert to the meter. The one that's pictured here, this is the meter block. The really nice thing about the meter block is it's Wi-Fi enabled.
Itself, right?
Yeah,
You don't
itself.
need-
So
yeah.
this will connect to the Wi-Fi, and then you can go wherever you want. A number of times I sit in a meeting and I'm looking at it and watching temperatures, and it's got a great graph. Like, I love the
Yeah.
graphs in it.
I'm jealous of the graphs that you've showed me about
Yeah.
how your cook's going.
It's fun to work. Like, full transparency, it's expensive. I don't have the meter block. I would love the meter block, but I don't have one. I have the Meter Plus, which is the single probe version of the meter block. And
It is not self-contained Wi-Fi,
it's
right?
not self-contained Wi-Fi.
Or
so
Bluetooth, I don't know.
I
know what you
borrow
call it.
one of my kids' iPad and connect their iPad to the meter because that never leaves the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll push it to the cloud, and then I can see it on my phone.
So it just needs to be connected to something at the house that
Yeah,
is
it just
that can then push it up
Yep.
to the cloud.
So the
Okay.
Meter Plus is Bluetooth to whatever device, and then it goes to the cloud, and anyone with the link can see it.
Okay.
So
How much is the meter block?
meter block's like 200.
I guess I can look it up just as easy as You can. I was thinking the meter block was like 400, but
Yeah, 239, as opposed to the meter plus is like $80, I think.
under 100 then.
$70 right now.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay.
but I was skeptical on meter at first. I'm a really big fan.
They seem to be like, I mean, there's tons of these on the market, and you can get a cheaper one, a leave-in thermometer, maybe not even wireless, that would work probably fine, but meter seems to really have at least be the most popular, I feel like, that I've seen.
there are other ones out there. Therm Pro, which we'll talk about that brand here in a second on Instant Read. They've got one, I think it's called the Therm Spike. It has no web interface. You have to be Bluetooth connected, which is fine. And my Traeger, like, it's got a thermometer probe built into it that I can see on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's just not quite as accurate as the meter. And
That's how my Gorilla has one of those too, but I've not found it to be overly accurate.
so I'm a big fan of meter. And that's what I've got.
Yeah.
Got there.
Right on.
And then I've got a couple of different instant reads on here. One is just this Therm Pro Instant. It's a little one. This thing's like $8, which is awesome. Super accurate. I've probably had like at least 10 of them.
Well, for $8,
And that's
you can buy 10 of them at the price for my Thermapen, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, we'd have 3 or 4 of them. I didn't really care if it got broken or dunked in the sink and forgotten about. Like, it was $8. It reads in about 4 or 5 seconds. It's really accurate. It's small, and you can have a couple of them.
Yeah.
So, great entry point for a really quality product. The Therm Pro Lightning is my go-to now. It's a little more expensive. I think right now it's like $50 or $60. Ooh, 70 right now. You can see.
That surprises me. I would think it'd be a little less expensive.
Yeah, but this is a great thing about Therm Pro. They almost always have coupons and discounts. So right now there's a $20 coupon on there, so it's down to $50. But really accurate and incredibly fast. Like, it's 1 second in and you know exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
So, not pictured on the website because it's not available on Amazon, as far as I know.
I couldn't find a link for it.
Yeah. You want to talk about yours?
Yeah, I have the Thermapen. And so the Thermapen, like John said, you can't find it on Amazon. But I wanted to quickly double check the price.
I'll get it going up here while you talk about
it. Honestly, it's maybe not one that I would run out and buy, but Whitney got it for me as a gift, and I have really loved it. It's what you see. I mean, Matt Pittman uses it, and Malcolm Reed uses it.
Yeah, I would say ThermoWorks is like the name in instant read thermometers amongst professionals.
Yeah. And I mean, it is literally instant. Like, you stick it in there, you know what the temperature is.
Yeah,
and I've really liked it.
Like, when I say professionals, not just barbecue, not just like the pitmaster teams. Like, you go into a Michelin restaurant and you're gonna find everyone's got one of these.
Yeah.
So
I have really liked it. It's been a great product, but it was a little more expensive. I think we paid probably $100 for it. Looks like you found it for, what is that, $87-ish, which is great. And because it's a little more expensive, I'm a little more, the kids touch it, I get a little nervous and stuff like that.
And it comes in a ton of fun colors.
Yeah, super fun. You can get it in pink if you're into it.
That's one of the things that I do like about the Thermapen. Lots of colors.
colors.
Yeah, and cool thing, both of these are Utah companies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, ThermoWorks is, I want to say Spanish Fork.
Huh.
They're South Utah County, just far enough outside of Provo, Orem for me not to consider them part of Happy Valley.
Oh, good.
So
then I don't mind taking care of them. American fork. Huh.
The other fork.
Interesting. I did not know that. I did not know they were local.
Yeah, part of the reason I know that is because Cam at Bam Bam's teaches classes in their test kitchen every once in a while.
So we've got ThermoWorks, we've got Traeger, we've got
Camp Chef Blackstone.
yeah, dude. Go Utah. Good for us.
There's another one that I'm forgetting about. Maybe I'll remember it as we talk through it. But yeah, there are a ton of these outdoor cooking companies. Mm-hmm. So those are thermometers. The other thing, good knives.
Yeah.
Look, you can spend a ton of money on knives. Mm-hmm. Like
literally hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds of dollars for a single knife. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things that I wish I could convince myself to spend more in. Mm-hmm. I don't. I buy cheap knives, and I've been really lucky in the ones that I have bought because they've held up and they're still super sharp.
Yeah.
And one of the things about my cheap knives is they go in the dishwasher and I don't feel bad about them.
Yeah.
My dad gave me one. He got me a really nice knife. It's like somewhere between a scimitar and a cleaver. Mm-hmm. It's got a really nice wood handle, but you've got to hand wash it no matter what. Yeah. And at the end of a big cook, like we've talked about this before, just like the exhaustion that can set in on a cook.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is stand there and wash a ton of stuff. Some of it you have to just because of the size, but the more I can put in the dishwasher, the happier I am.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple here. I think you need, at a minimum, these two knives as you get started. Mm-hmm. And they make a huge difference in your prep experience and your serving experience. Mm-hmm. One is you need a good fillet knife. The one I have, it was actually a Gerber knife, but they don't make them anymore. Do
you still use it?
Oh, all the time.
And it's still good, huh? Gerber's a good knife.
Yeah, it's
I've only used their pocket knives, but
yeah. So this is very similar. I think it's like $25, $30, $21 right now. Mm-hmm. But you need something that's sharp. It's got a little bit of give, and it makes trimming really easy. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that if you want to be able to slice thin and consistently, you need to be able to have a long pull on your slice. So getting a big slicing knife will really make your life easy. I'm a big fan, and we're like clicking into these. You can see, like this is stuff I really use. The one I have has a green handle on it.
Ew.
Very fancy.
Totes adores.
Didn't have the black ones when I got it. I still probably would have bought the green one.
I have one of these, but I don't know where I put it, and it would have been so nice slicing that brisket.
Yeah. 11-inch. This Cook and Home brand, found them on Amazon. They're really cheap. They're very like commercial kitchen feeling, like that type of plastic handle on them.
Yeah.
So they're nothing fancy. They're nothing to get excited about. But man, it's been great. Goes in the dishwasher. That thing is still razor sharp. Was that 6 years now?
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of this knife. So, you've got on here, Mike. This was your link, were the Dexter knives.
I like these Dexter knives. I got these. This is another. Whitney comes in clutch with my barbecue stuff whenever there's a holiday. But you get a 3-piece for, it's like $40, $43 bucks. And with that, you get 2 of these boning knives. Very nice. And then kind of a bigger, I don't know what you'd call it. It's called a butcher set. But the one knife, I've used it as a slicer because it's a lot bigger. But yeah, I've been really happy with them. Honestly, I got them because Malcolm Reed sold them on his website, but they were like personalized, how to barbecue right, and they were pretty expensive. And then I found these on Amazon, and I was like, yeah, I'll get these. I've been really happy with them. Similar, I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on them, but they've stayed really, really sharp and really nice. Like, I've been extremely happy with them. Let me ask you this. How do you store your knives?
So a couple of them have like sheaths. Like my fillet knife, it's got a sheath that's got honing stones down in the bottom of it.
Oh, really? Right on.
Yeah, I mean it's got a belt loop on it. Like it's really intended to be like
A
on
fishing
the
fillet knife.
a fishing fillet knife. My slicing knife goes in the extra slot on my knife block.
Your block. See, mine don't fit in the knife block that I have, and I'm not sure what to do with them. So I've just been putting them up above the counter where nobody can touch them.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing, but in the market for a better option than that. Because they came with plastic sheaths, but those didn't last very long. So
Yeah, I know a lot of people like magnets.
yeah, I've seen that, and that's why I wondered if you had something like that, but I do not.
No, I don't. I just don't know especially with my kids,
That's
my
what I was
boys,
gonna
man.
say. With my kids, the age they are, I don't know that I'm into a magnet where you can just grab it off, you know?
Yeah, like I've got a cleaver, again, super cheap, razor sharp. If you swung it hard, like you would cut someone's finger off with it.
Yeah, cause some problems.
It stays in a box tucked in the back of a drawer that isn't there. Because, like, my kids know they're not supposed to touch them and not supposed to use them. But if they're out and present and they're doing it, like,
Oh, yeah.
they need a knife or something, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm using it for what it's supposed to be used
Right.
for. And
Yeah, I've been a little kid before. I get it.
yeah, I can't blame them for it. I just
Yeah,
makes me nervous, so I don't do it.
sure.
But
Well, if anybody has any ideas for knife storage, I am interested.
yeah,
Even at like a magnet, I don't know, like the top of a cupboard or something so that kids couldn't get to it, but maybe it just kept it from getting dinged. I don't know.
yeah.
I've been happy with them, though. They
Yeah.
keep a good edge, so.
So I think these are great starter knives, and they can last you a long while. I won't lie, I would really like some nice knives at this point.
Well, we've shouted them out before, but the Bearded Butcher,
Yeah,
they will show the stuff they use, and I'm just like, man, that
Yeah,
would be,
they're,
look at that thing, man.
They're Victorinox or whatever it is.
Yeah, the expensive, very nice, though, but
Yeah.
yeah, these ones get the job done for everything that I've needed them for. They do a good job.
I've also been tempted to make my own knives, which I think would be fun.
I've looked into that. I got Pilot Potty has made a few of those.
Has he?
Yeah,
You do
My
a
buddy
leaf
John.
spring?
I don't know. I
I've
can't remember
got-
what he used, but
Haley's grandpa, who he just passed this week.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sorry. Wow, downer. Wasn't intended to be. But he made knives for a little while and gave one to all the boys in the family, to the great consternation of some of the granddaughters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was grateful to get one, and it's a cool little knife that it seems like it could be a fun hobby.
Oh, that's cool.
So, thermometers, knives, and I would probably put them in that order. Like, if
Yeah.
you have to pick, get the thermometer.
Yeah. If you don't trim anything at all, it will be edible.
Yep. But get the thermometer.
Yeah,
Then get
I like that.
knives. Then I've got on here cutting boards.
Yeah.
And the bigger, the better, in my opinion.
100%.
So I found this massive wood one on here that
Ooh, I like that. How big is it?
24 by 18.
That's not bad for $43. That's
No,
pretty decent.
yeah, that was the thing. Like, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
And it's nice and thick. The nice thing about having a big wood cutting board is, one, when you're cutting, like, I mean, you can just do it on the counter, but you're going to pay for it.
Right.
So, but having a nice big, oh, and I need to just go back to our webpage so I don't keep scrolling over pictures. Having a nice big cutting board, it makes it a lot easier to not be trying to like juggle the piece of meat and where the cutting board is underneath it, and it's got to have a groove in it to catch some of the juice because there's going to be more than you expect. But the cool part is it also just serves as like a nice platter to serve it on.
It's good looking. Yeah, I agree.
So
I made that one last year, and I've really liked it, but I would love like a store-bought one because I feel like it'd be finished a little better than the one that I have. But that's pretty nice. The bigger, the better.
yeah,
You put a brisket on one, and it, goes off the edges. It kind of sucks.
yeah. So, wood's great for cooked meats. I like using plastic meats, and I just went through. I tried to find the cheapest ones I could find for everyone that were big.
Yeah. I like that.
Hardware, Sam's Club.
Yes, that's the
has-
one I have.
They've got a 2-pack of cutting boards that I think is like $15 that are pretty big.
They're big, yeah. I like those a lot.
I've got several of those. So, big cutting boards. The bigger, the better. Don't try and do it on one of the like 11 by 13 ones that are probably what you have at home.
Yep.
So,
It's
all right.
frustrating.
Let's get into the other things. I think this will actually be more fun than some of the stuff that we've talked about.
Yeah.
The barbecue daddy.
Yes.
We talked about this a little while ago. I have been shamelessly tagging and harassing Scrub Daddy to see if they'll sponsor us or at least give us a shout out. No response yet.
They're like, talk to us when you have more than one subscriber to your website.
Yeah. Thank you, Doug. But I'm a huge fan of this. There are other ones out on the market, but I'm a big fan of the Scrub Daddy brand, and the fact that it goes in the dishwasher is pretty awesome too. You got one.
I did.
Have you used it?
I did. I've used it one time, and I've been very happy with it. Question, when you put it in the dishwasher, do you just pop the head off and put it in the dishwasher, or do you put the whole thing in?
No, the head just slides right out.
That's what I noticed. I love that. So that's what I did. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't doing it wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, the steam cleaning thing, fantastic. Big fan.
My dad cleaned his grill on Monday yesterday, and I went over and I used his for a dessert that we were having after dinner last night, and like I was blown away because his grill tends to get a little dirtier. He does a lot of brisket, a lot of like really fatty stuff over there. And man, it was like brand new. Like couldn't believe like
That's awesome.
the grates looked awesome.
Yeah.
So big fan of the barbecue daddy. I don't know how much it is on Amazon right now. Survey says
There's no price anywhere, John.
we'll get a new link on here.
Never seen that before.
Anyways, Home Depot actually is where I got mine. I was excited because I paid $30 for it, and then I went back and got my dad one at $25, and then I heard that Whitney got one for Mike at $20.
Yeah. Atta girl.
So
She's the best.
yeah, check out Home Depot for Scrub Daddy.
Yeah, it's great.
So
I love it. And I don't know how legitimate the bristle thing is, but it scares the crap out of me. So I like not having it.
yeah, is it rescue brush or grill brush or I don't know what.
Yeah, grill rescue or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one that talks about that. I don't know, man. I've probably eaten something off of a grill. You could probably average it out to once a week for the last 20 years, and I've never had that experience. But
Well, if it really happened, it would only take one time. But
yeah,
anyway.
so
Melting pot.
melting pot. Yeah, you got one of these?
I don't have one of those. I'd like one.
Man.
I have a little skooky skillet, but I'd like one of those.
Yeah. So it's about a cup and a half, 2 cups.
Okay.
In size. It is just a little cast iron pot that is great to put out on your grill. Melt butter in it, warm barbecue sauce. When I'm doing ribs, I'll take some of the rib juice and barbecue sauce and mix it up and put it out on the grill. So when it gets time to glaze, the sauce is hot. That's one thing that I screw up all the time is I forget to get the sauce out of the fridge.
Yep.
So I've got these hot ribs, and then I put refrigerated barbecue sauce on them.
It gets all pasty.
Yeah, and it takes forever to tack up the way I want it to. So
I like that. So I've always used like the grease trap trays that you can get for Traeger or whatever, like the loaf pans almost, the disposable ones. But I like this idea of a heavy one because those will blow all over if the wind's blowing and it causes issues.
yeah, this little bad boy is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I just like cast iron.
Yeah, I'm a cast iron fan too. I'd like to try that. What do you pay for that?
They're cheap.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they'd be that expensive.
Yeah, $18.
A little less than 20.
And you get a little brush with it.
Is that a cast iron brush?
No, it's a plastic brush.
That'd be cool if it was
silicone.
Probably be heavy as crap if it's cast iron, I guess.
No, man, it's a silicone brush. That bad boy goes in the dishwasher.
That's awesome.
Not the pot.
Don't put
just
that
the
in
brush. So
I'll probably have to invest in one of those.
the great debate, Mike. You use butcher paper or do you use foil?
It depends on what I'm cooking. I'm all about butcher paper for a brisket. I'm not against using butcher paper for a pork butt. I just haven't. So
Yeah.
the last few pork butts I've done, I haven't wrapped just to rest. So
Yeah. Yeah, I typically don't wrap my pork shoulders.
yeah.
But
But what about ribs?
ribs I do foil.
See, I've always used foil. I like the boiling effect.
Yeah,
I know some of the
steam 'em,
hardcore
get
people
'em-
don't like that, but I don't care. I like the way that it tastes and the way it tenderizes them. And I'm sure you could do something similar to that with the paper, but I can't imagine it would have the same effect. You know? Maybe it'd be more barky, but I like the steam effect that you get with foil.
Yep. So, but for brisket, and honestly, just for like a prep surface, sometimes
Yes.
it's really nice to
Love
just
that.
grab a piece of butcher paper and throw it down, and then when you're done, you wad it up and throw it away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that.
yeah,
sure.
but I can't
A little more
imagine.
absorbent than foil.
Yeah, can't imagine cooking a brisket without butcher paper.
Yeah.
So
I like it. That's all I've used it for. I'm sure you could use it for other things, but
yeah, and this again, not expensive. $20 for 175 feet. That's gonna last most people
years.
a year and a half, 2 years. I
Yeah.
go through one about every 6 months, but
Yeah.
I cook a lot. So
Yeah, I don't cook a lot of brisket, so mine's lasting significantly longer, but it's great. It's not like something you're going to have to go to the store for every day.
yeah. Bear paws. I threw these on when I first got started. I thought it was like a necessity to have. They're really popular about 10, 12 years ago. And they're great for when you're trying to shred meat. What you learn, and you've talked about this, like once you learn how to cook a pork shoulder, like if you need these, it's probably not cooked the right way.
Right.
Like,
I was going to say that same thing. I like to have them as a backup, and they are nice, but if you do it right, like you just dig your hands in there and it falls apart.
yeah. So that's what they're originally intended for, so that you'd put them on like Wolverine and pull your meat apart and shred it. I think they're awesome, and what I use them for more than anything now is just to like grab stuff and move it.
You've said this before. I've never used them for that. That's a great idea.
Yeah. It's
like
like when
that.
if you're trying to pick up a brisket or even a pork shoulder and like move it around on the grill with a pair of tongs,
Yeah.
like there is not a good set of tongs that is big enough to really handle that kind of meat.
Yeah.
Let's just let you get under it or let you get into it and pick it up, have a little more control. So
Man, I wish I remembered that because I'm all about the cotton liner gloves with the black, but just to move it or, move it to the table, you're wasting your gloves because they're,
man, I'm a
so
baby.
I like that.
Like I'm a baby with my hands. Like they can't handle the heat. So even like the cotton liner with plastic gloves over the top, man, I have smoked my hands before.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's not the meat. It's like you get the juice on them.
Right. And then it just goes
And it
right through them.
and it's sitting there on your gloves and it's like molten lava.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear that.
I threw this on here. Like if you're doing content, I'm a big fan, and I never thought I was going to be a big fan of these Insta360 cameras.
Yeah, you just got this, right?
Yeah, I've had it for, I don't know, maybe about a year now.
Okay.
Used it off and on, but it's great because it will take a 360 degree image. It's got 2 lenses on it. And on Instagram, we've got a video of Mike eating the Oreo with the rub on it. Mm-hmm. That camera was sitting right here on the table. We didn't aim it. We didn't do anything. I just set it there. And it took this 360 image, and it started here, and then I was able to pan it up, and
And then you just grab what you want.
yeah,
Huh?
got a really good shot off of it.
That's awesome.
But they're basically indestructible. I say that I'm going to break mine tomorrow probably now.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if it survived us and kids, then it's...
Yeah, waterproof.
tough.
We took it to Disney with us, and it was fun because you could like be on a ride and like taking a video and getting. We got some great reactions of Clay on roller coasters and
that's
stuff.
cool.
And you're not having to like make sure the GoPro's pointed at just the right angle.
Right.
It's just hold it. So enough about that. They're expensive. It's like $400 or $500, but get after it. So, Mike, why don't you talk about these last two?
Yeah.
Because you've introduced me to both of them.
I love the Vortex. And you have different sizes. You have a bunch of knockoffs. People swear by the legit one. It probably doesn't matter that much. But all they are is basically a metal funnel that you can kind of put all your charcoal in the middle, and it just creates like a pillar of heat that hits the top of your Weber and just kind of falls down the sides. Kind of creates almost like an air fryer of sorts. I love it. I've also used it to make like a charcoal snake kind of, so that it slowly burns around, you know?
Yeah, it's cool because you can get that vortex of heat coming out of it when you pile everything in the middle. And it does it like volcanoes up.
Yep.
And just blasts heat straight up, which it's awesome for searing over.
Oh, yeah. So hot.
The other cool thing you can do is you flip it upside down, and then you do that snake thing. Mm-hmm. And then you've got a little bit of a heat diversion that pushes it to the outside.
Yep. You put your meat in the middle, and then it's not burning or anything, which is nice on the Weber because, you know, you can get on the cool side of the grill, but you're still pretty close to the heat source. So something like that. I am a huge fan. I mean, this winter, my pellet grill was down. I basically just cooked on the Weber, and I used the Vortex probably 78% of the time for one thing or another. The other thing... I love these tumbleweed fire starters from Royal Oak. However, since I first talked to you about these, and I do like them and they work fantastic, they're a great product. You mentioned that you just throw some oil on some butcher paper and use that as a fire starter. I stopped buying these, and now I just use paper towels, put a little oil on them, and just stick it under the charcoal chimney and lights right up. So I really like these. But they're starting to get hard to find. I think they're back on Walmart shelves, but they took them off the shelf for a while. I bought some Amazon knockoffs that were like smaller than these ones, and they just didn't work as well. So
this is one I'll say buy the Royal Oak ones. Don't buy anything else.
Yeah, I haven't been happy with any of the knockoff versions.
Yeah,
and maybe Royal Oak is a knockoff version of a higher quality one, but I've been really happy with them.
I think these are great, especially when you're out camping or you've got a lot of wind or something. I think they're really nice. Otherwise, I'm a big fan of just crumpling up paper, and you crumple up the paper and then hit it with whatever oil you're cooking with.
Yeah.
And
I've been really happy with that. The oil is clutch because, like you said, I mean, if the wind's blowing or whatever, it's just going to blow your paper out. But if you have a little oil on there, it's fantastic. So
and when we talk about oil, I've got a squeeze bottle full of oil that I typically use on my Blackstone, and I think it's right now it just has regular canola oil. You can use grapeseed or avocado or
I've got avocado, I think,
whatever it is. But crumple up this ball of paper, and then you just drizzle it. You're not soaking the paper, but it's maybe a teaspoon, and a half of oil. Light the dry paper, and then that dry paper will ignite the oil.
And that'll burn.
It'll burn, baby, burn.
I've seen people that will take a paper towel, just not crumple it up, put a little oil in the middle, and then stack their charcoal on top of that and light it that way. I've never done that, but that seems like more work than it's worth. I'd rather just dump it in a chimney and throw it underneath.
Man, I'm a big fan of chimneys.
Dude, chimneys. That's what we should have put on here.
We should have put
Do you
that
have
on.
a Weber chimney?
I do. I've got.
Are you happy with it?
I've got the big one and the little one.
See, I've just got a little one from Walmart, and I want a big Weber one, but I just haven't gotten one yet. I think that's my next purchase.
It's one that I bought because where was I? Maybe I was at Home Depot, and that was the only one they had, and I was cooking that day, and I was already like getting grouchy, and I was like, I'm not going to Walmart to buy it cheap. So
Yeah.
I bought it. It was a little more expensive, but it's got like another handle on it,
Yeah.
which is really nice when you're trying to like actually spread where you're putting your charcoal.
So that's what
And
I've
the
seen.
handle is plastic, and I don't know what they do. I guess it's got like another heat shield on it. The handle isn't a billion degrees.
Yeah.
Every other one I've ever had, like, you have to have gloves on to pick that handle up, otherwise you're gonna be crying.
That's how mine is. I have bought 2 cheap ones, and I think they're little ones. So do you find the big one is more useful than the little one?
It depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The reason I got the little one, so I've got a pit barrel cooker,
Uh-huh.
brand name pit barrel cooker,
Yeah.
that I don't know if it was on a forum or on their actual webpage, but with that one, like, you're supposed to count out the number of charcoal that you put in the basket, and then you take a quarter of them out, light those, and then dump it over the top, and then it's the slow burn down, right?
Okay.
That little chimney is the exact number of a quarter.
Oh, wow.
I think it holds like, I'm going to say it now, I'm going to be wrong. I think it holds like 22 briquettes,
That seems legit.
which is a quarter of what you put in there. Mm-hmm. So it was awesome. So I got it for that purpose. But then I've got a big one for if I'm cooking on my Weber.
Yeah. And you use
So-
the big one when you cook on the Weber grill.
Yeah.
See, I think that's what I need. I've only used the little one, and I feel like the big one
Yeah.
I might need to branch out. Both Weber brand, though.
Yeah, they're both the Weber branded one.
Gotcha.
So
I think that's my next purchase.
there you go. Alrighty, well, we've reached the end of the list. If you don't, make sure you click the button right down there. Hit subscribe. Sign up on the website. Because we would love to talk with you.
Yeah. Love to hear from you. Comment your favorite products, things that you like to use. We're always down to learn new things and hear things from you. So
Yeah, hit it on the blog. Leave us a note there, and we can add links as you throw them up there. So
heck yeah.
until next time, I'm John,
I'm Mike.
and we're Fat Guys with Smokers. Oh, didn't cue the extra. Let's try it again, Mike. You ready?
Yep.
I'm John,
I'm Mike.
and we're Fat Guys with Smokers. Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.